Imagine you're a developer. You're working on your latest project. You type git commit to save your work. It's a command you run dozens of times a day. You don't even think about it. But this time is different. Your computer doesn't just save your code. It quietly opens a connection to a hacker's server. Malicious code starts running in the background. Your machine is no longer just yours. This isn't science fiction, folks. This is the reality of a new nasty bug. It has a fancy name, CVE 2025-4884. And it's a big deal. This isn't some minor inconvenience. We're talking about a serious vulnerability in Git itself. Git is the backbone of modern software development. It's on your laptop. It's on the servers that build your favorite apps. It's in the cloud. This widespread use makes any bug in Git a huge problem. This particular bug allows for something called remote code execution, or RCE. In simple terms, it means an attacker can run their programs on your computer. All you have to do is run a normal Git command on a bad repository. It's like a computer virus that pretends to be a simple text file. So why should you, a developer, care? So why should you, a gamer, care? So why should you, a tech enthusiast, care? Because if you use Git, you are at risk. So, how does this crazy attack even work? You'd think it would take some super complex Mission Impossible style hacking, but it's surprisingly simple. The attackers create a special Git repository. A repository is just a folder with all your project files and their history. On the surface, this malicious repository looks completely normal. It has code files, maybe some images, and a README. But hidden inside are carefully crafted configuration files. These files exploit a flaw in how older versions of Git process repository settings. They're like booby traps left for an unsuspecting developer. When you clone or pull, Git reads those config files. Normally, these files just set up simple preferences, things like your username, or what text editor to use. But the attackers found a way to write these files so they do something much more sinister. They can tell Git to run an external program during a routine operation. For example, when you run git commit, Git might be tricked into executing a script hidden in the repo. You think you're just saving your code, but you've actually triggered their trap. The most common way this happens is through Git hooks. Hooks are small scripts that Git can run automatically at certain points. For example, a pre-commit hook runs right before you finalize a commit. Legitimate developers use them to check for typos or run tests, but attackers can create a malicious hook and hide it. The vulnerability in CVE 2025-48384 allows them to enable this bad hook without you ever knowing. The hook could be a simple script that downloads malware, steals your SSH keys, or scans your network. Think of it like this: you order a pizza. The box looks normal, the pizza inside looks delicious, but the chef secretly laced the pizza dough with something that makes you sick later. You wouldn't know until it was too late. That's what's happening here. The Git repository is the pizza box. The code files are the pizza. Malicious config files are the poison hooks, are the hidden poison too. You interact with it just like any other pizza, but the outcome is way worse. It's an attack on the very process developers trust every single day. The story starts on a quiet Tuesday. Developers at a small startup notice their cloud computing bill has skyrocketed. They dig into the logs. They find strange processes running on their build servers. These servers are supposed to be locked down. They only pull code from their private GitHub repository and build it. But the trail leads back to one developer's machine. A single git pull command. The attackers have gotten really clever with this. They don't just put up a big sign that says click here for virus. They use subtle tricks to get malicious repositories in front of you. One of the scariest methods is called RepoJacking. This happens when a popular project on a site like GitHub changes its username or moves to a new organization. The old username, like github.com, cool dev, awesome project, becomes available. An attacker can register that old username and upload a malicious version of the project. Think about tutorials, blog posts, old forum answers that still link to the original project. They still point to the old URL. Thousands of developers might follow those old links thinking it's trusted software. Instead, they download the attacker's booby-trapped version. They git clone the repository and boom, system compromised. The attacker hijacked the reputation of a legitimate project. It's a supply chain attack for open-source code. It preys on outdated information across the web. Another trick, hiding malicious scripts inside repository history. An attacker can create a commit with a payload use git commands to rewrite history, making that commit no longer visible on the main branch. Section 4. The real-world fallout, data theft, backdoors, and chaos. So, who is actually at risk here? The short answer is, almost everyone who uses Git. If you're a solo developer working on a passion project on an old laptop, you're a target. If you're part of a massive enterprise with thousands of engineers, you're a target. Anyone running an unpatched version of Git is walking around with a bullseye on their back. The attackers are using automated scanners to find vulnerable systems. They're looking for exposed Git repositories on the internet, and they're hunting for abandoned accounts on hosting platforms. The United States Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, or CISA, has issued a stark warning about this. They have confirmed that CVE 2025-48384 is being actively exploited in the wild. This isn't a theoretical problem anymore. This is happening right now. Attackers are breaking into networks as we speak. They are targeting development environments because that's where the crown jewels are. Source code, API keys for cloud services, database passwords. It's all there. A single compromised developer machine can be the gateway to an entire company's infrastructure. Let's talk about what happens when they get in. First, data theft. They can zip up your entire project and send it to themselves. If you work on proprietary software, that's your company's intellectual property gone. Second, financial loss. Section 5. Your action plan. How to slam the door shut on hackers. Okay, that was a lot of doom and gloom, but don't panic. There is a clear path forward. You can and you must fix this. The number one most important step is to update your Git client immediately. The developers behind Git have already released a patch. You need to update to version v 2.50.1 or newer. This version fixes the vulnerability. Go do it now. On your laptop, on your desktop, on your build servers, on every single machine that has Git installed. This is not optional. It's the single most effective thing you can do. Second, you need to start treating unknown repositories like they are radioactive. Don't just git clone a random project you found on a forum. If you must inspect a repository you don't trust, do it in a safe environment. Use a virtual machine or a sandbox that is isolated from your main system. You can also view the files directly on websites like GitHub without cloning them to your machine. Look at the repository's configuration files, like .git/config, and check for any suspicious commands or hooks before you run any Git commands locally. These can be early warning signs of a compromise. Section 6. The final word, don't get caught napping. The story of CVE 2025-48384 is a harsh but necessary wake-up call for the entire tech community. It shows how a tool that we rely on for our daily work can be turned against us. The fix is out there, but its existence means nothing if people don't apply it. The cost of delaying this update could be catastrophic for your project or your company. So I'm going to say it one more time. Update Git to version v 2.50.1 or later. Today, not tomorrow. Do not wait to become another headline. Beyond this immediate fix, we need to adopt a more security-conscious mindset. This isn't a one-and-done deal. Security is a continuous process. It's a habit. You need to be vigilant. Always be skeptical of unknown code. Use tools that can scan your code for accidentally committed secrets. Consider using end-to-end encryption for truly sensitive files before you even commit them to Git. This way, even if your repository is stolen, your most important secrets remain protected. Set up logging and alerts for your code hosting platform. You should be notified of unusual activity, like a large number of clones from an unrecognized location, or changes to repository settings. Early detection can make the difference between a minor incident and a full-blown disaster. The faster you can spot an intrusion, the faster you can shut it down and limit the damage. Don't just assume everything is fine because you haven't noticed a problem yet. You have to be actively looking for trouble. Ultimately, this Git vulnerability highlights a fundamental truth. In a connected world, our security is linked. A weakness in a single, widely used tool can create a ripple effect that impacts millions. The responsibility to fix it lies with all of us. So, patch your systems. Be careful about the code you run. Secure your accounts. Monitor your logs. These aren't just best practices, they are essential survival skills in the modern digital landscape. Don't get caught napping. Update Git to v 2.50.1 or later. Treat unknown repositories as radioactive. Enable two-factor authentication. Rotate credentials. And monitor continuously. This is happening right now. Patch, protect, and stay vigilant.